Hey, that's me, just your average, everyday firefighter that sometimes gets his station's trash can on fire. Don't get me wrong, I love my job, but I can't help but feel that I can make a bigger impact in this world somehow. A few years ago on a vacation, this random guy came up to me and started talking hooey-fooey about something called manifestation, and introduced me to a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Naturally, a few years go by and I didn't even give that book a second look, until just recently when I listened to it and a lot of other books along the topic. Well, naturally, it seems like anything manifestation related is like a nice crafty salesman trying to sell you snake oil, right? Well, my birthday's coming up and I'm realizing that as the years go by, I'm not really the person my younger self thought I would be. And who he thought he would be is somebody who got successful off entertainment and inspires you to be successful in a way that you like as well. So recently, this idea of manifestation seems extremely attractive to me, as if I can prove that it exists, that means I can inspire you to know that it exists as well, and you can set out to accomplish your dream as well. I dare you to come along with me. I've tried this once before in the past, and according to David Goggins' book, I need to first realize why this one failed, so that when inevitably that it happens again, I'll know how to handle it this time. After a lot of reflection, I realized that the reason it failed was because I just didn't have a strong enough why am I doing this. So when things got hard, I ended up giving up. As much as I loved my fiance's art and I knew over time we could be successful with it, I just didn't have the mental strength to get over the tough parts. And I hope this video series gives me the courage to revive that photography business, because I really did love watching her take pictures. But ultimately I knew that for myself, my passions lied more within videography and entertainment, and I was obsessed about creating these memories and filming them, like the YouTuber Devin Supertramp. I didn't understand at the time that the reason I wanted to record these videos was to inspire people to go out and experience life. But being in a new place, coupled with not having any friends, made things difficult, and ultimately I gave up. So what's changed since then? When COVID hit, we all tried finding new hobbies. And fortunately for me, I found golf. Now, some of you may know this, but some of you may not. Golf is an emotionally abusive game. But fortunately for us, it's also extremely cathartic. Oh, hold on there a second, my non-golf watchers. I can feel your mouses screaming toward the X button. But rest assured, this is a growth channel before it is a golf channel. And I'm fully aware of the stigma watching golf has. Boring! I promise to make this as entertaining and fun as I possibly can with the equipment that I have.
How do you make it hit the club face, bro?
When I find out, I'll be happy to tell you. Okay. If everything goes to plan, and with your help, I'll be able to branch out and do more community outreach things, which I really would like to do as well. Alright, but enough of the theatrical intros. I haven't really told you guys what the plan is. Well, here it is. I plan to turn this trash can into a professional golfer. Well, as professional as I can. I'm going to document the entire journey, and I'm going to make sure to try and motivate you to find yours and do yours as well alongside me. So at the end of this, and throughout the journey, we can look at each other for guidance and for reassurance that we're going to figure it out. Alright, well, I think that's about as much as I can say about this. Now it's time to get to work. Here is how I plan on being successful. Although this is just the first episode, I've already a little over 100 hours of practice in. In order to know if I'm actually progressing and not just wasting time, we need to track my metrics. That'll be the next thing you see, and we'll go into that more in just a little bit. But I have to make sure that you guys understand it's really hard to make something entertaining when you're doing the exact same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. So I just ask for a little patience while I try to master the recording process of this. Remember, the challenge here is to see if manifestation actually works. And if I'm gonna make it work, I really want you to come along with me for the ride. So I hope that you can share your journeys with me as well. I want nothing more than someone to come to me and tell me that I changed their life. That is ultimately the main goal of this channel. There's been some brain studies that show that even just thinking about an action actually triggers some of the same neurons of actually doing that action. So I'm going to be spending some time every day meditating and focusing on exactly how I want my golf game to look, and hopefully it translates into real life. Alright, well, I think I've said everything that needs to be said and probably more, so I appreciate it if you've made it this far. Alright, so now moving forward, we're going to have to use some lingo. I'm going to simplify things by summarizing golf into 3 parts. All the names are pretty self-explanatory. We have the long game, the short game, and probably the hardest of all is putting. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! Alright, well that brings us toward the end of the week, and we've spent this entire week practicing short game and putting. At the end of every video, we're going to go ahead and play an entire round of golf in a way that I think will be both enjoyable to watch and track our progress. Golf is recorded in something called strokes. One attempt at moving the ball forward toward the hole is called a stroke. Standardly, golf courses have about a par 72, and par is just a fancy term for goal. So a par 3 means you have to get your golf ball into the hole in 3 shots, same with 4 and 5. If you match the par of a hole, it's naturally called a par. If you do something above a par, it's called a bogey. 2 above par is double bogey, and this can go on forever, but typically after 3 we just say +4, +5, or +6. If you get lucky enough to get under par, it's actually the names of birds, starting low and getting to bigger birds. The first is called a birdie, then an eagle, then an albatross, or rarely known as a double eagle, finally an ace or hole-in-one. On average, I usually shoot around a 95, and it takes a very talented golfer to shoot 72 and around that. I aim to shoot a 75 by the end of the year. I know it's a lot, but I promise it makes sense. There's just one last thing. The handicap is a quick way of looking at how difficult the hole is, 1 being the hardest. Alright, so first round of golf since practicing. I don't really have high expectations, but I have one big goal, and that's going to be to just keep everything in play. I already made a friend before teeing off. He said that I'm absolutely not going to shoot 75, which I agree with, especially not today. But he did give me some tips on how to not slice, so let's see if those pay off today. Alright, so if you've never watched any golf content, what you're about to see is a lot of stimulation all at once. Anything that's important, I'll make sure to voice over and tell you what's happening. Until then, just enjoy the entertainment of watching the ball go into the hole. Healthy. Tragic.
Oh, you stink!
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Bruh.
Alright, well that's the first half of the game. You can see that my score is 48, and that plus 16 means that I am 16 over the current pace of the course. This course, similar to when I went over the scorecard, is a par 72, which means I am currently 16 over par. Let's lock it in and do better on the back nine. Hey guys, Dare Blue from the future here. Just wanted to let you know that my footage corrupted somehow, but somehow we got a par this hole. the hardest hole in the course, and this has been the best 9 holes I've ever played in my entire life. You know, even if I completely can fall apart here, I'm truly grateful to see a glimpse of what our future is to be. I was getting discouraged at the start, but I mean, I've played out of my mind these last 9, and it's given me just enough of a glimpse to never give up on this, I think. So take a look at my poor ball. This thing's dirt cheap, because I'm a cheapskate, and yeah. Let's see how this lasts. Look at how close we are to danger, but we didn't get caught up in it. Alright, so that was the first episode of what I hope to be is something great. Please make sure that as this series progresses, you come up with your own goal and dreams as well, and you follow alongside me. I'd love to hear and see your progress. Reach out to me. I'd love to be a part of this with you. And I've never shot a 39 in my life, so if that's not a sign that we should keep going, I don't know what is. 39 times 2 is what? 78. So if I did that twice, I'd be a 78. And then the series would almost have to go on to the second part, which is becoming pro. Station 17 getting in some work. Love those guys, so I will forgive them for interrupting my outro. But I hope they stay safe. I hope you guys stay safe, and I'll see you next week. Well, that's the first episode, guys. Thank you so much if you've made it this far, and please leave comments on how I can make this better. I want your opinions on anything I can do to improve this series, because, like I said, we're in this together, so please tell me how I can make this most entertaining. All right, guys, see you next week.